quickly go talk to Cassandra and start the Inquisition?
Have you gone completely mad? He should be taken to Val Royo immediately. To be tried by whomever becomes divine.
I do not believe he is guilty.
The elf failed, Seeker. The breach is still in the sky. For all you know, he intended it this way.
I do not believe that.
That is not for you to decide. Your duty is to serve
What
the
about your
time.
foes and earn combat bonuses
My
against them?
duty is... I believe Seeker Pentagast was looking for you. That will help. If you find anything, please bring it in.
Here we go.
Chain him! I want him prepared for travel to the capital for trial.
Disregard that and leave us.
You walk a dangerous line, Seeker.
The breach is stable, but it is still a threat. I will not ignore it.
So I'm still a suspect, even after what we just did?
You absolutely are.
No, he is not.
Someone was behind the explosion at the Conclave. Someone most holy did not expect. Perhaps they died with the others, or have allies who yet live.
I am a suspect?
You, and many others.
But not the prisoner.
I heard the voices in the temple. The Divine called to him for help.
So his survival, that thing on his hand, all a coincidence.
Providence. The Maker sent him to us in our darkest hour.
Oh no. Oh no.
You realize I'm an elf. A Dalish elf.
I have not forgotten. No matter what you are or what you believe, you are exactly what we needed when we needed it.
The breach remains,
I'm the
and your
savior.
mark is still our only hope of closing it.
This is not for you to decide.
You know what this is, Chancellor. A writ from the Divine, granting us the authority to act. As of this moment, I declare the Inquisition reborn. We will close the breach, we will find those responsible, and we will restore order with or without your approval.
This is the Divine's directive. Rebuild the Inquisition of old. Find those who will stand against the chaos. We aren't ready. We have no leader, no numbers. And now, no Chantry support.
But we have no choice. We must act now, with you at our side.
What is the Inquisition of old, exactly?
It preceded the Chantry. People who banded together to restore order in a world gone mad.
After, they laid down their banner and formed the Templar Order, but the Templars have lost their way. We need those who can do what must be done, united under a single banner once more.
But aren't you still part of the Chantry?
Is that what you see?
The Chantry will take time to find a new Divine. And then it will wait for her direction.
But we cannot wait. So many Grand Clerics died at the Conclave. No, we are on our own. Perhaps forever.
You're trying to start a holy war.
We are already at war. You are already involved. Its mark is upon you. As to whether the war is holy, that depends on what we discover.
But if I refuse?
You can go if you wish.
You should know that while some believe you chosen, many still think you guilty. The Inquisition can only protect you if you are with us.
We can also help you.
It will not be easy if you stay. But you cannot pretend this has not changed you.
When I woke up, I certainly didn't picture this outcome.
Neither did we.
Help us fix this before it's too late.
The Inquisition begins! Look at that clipping texture. Truly a game of quality. In a cutscene, no less. God, I missed this. And now we start the long grind. Why am I in a tree? What? Okay, why did it put me there? Can't get to it.
Thank you for hurrying with the potions.
Look who's back from the dead. Again.
I don't recall meeting you before.
I'd be surprised if you did. You weren't particularly coherent. Someone had to patch you up after you staggered out of making knows where, though. So, you're welcome.
It has been a rough few days.
That's an understatement. And more ahead if the weather is any indication. Name's Adan. I'm in charge of keeping our little band here stocked with potions and elixirs. Not that Seeker Pentagast seems to care whether we've got the supplies to actually do that.
For a healer, you don't seem particularly nurturing.
I'm not a healer. I'm an alchemist who's forced to play Mother Hen. You want something to burst into flame on contact with the air? Done. Gladly. Patching up wounded soldiers is a waste of my time and talents. But there are a few around who can help.
How are your people holding up?
There's no shortage of work. That's for damn sure.
Is there anything I can do to help out?
We're fine as far as raw labor goes. You've more important things to do than tend to me. I only wish I'd been able to find Master Tajin's notes. Old bastard was working on something special. He died at the Conclave, and his notes weren't here. Been too busy dealing with the wounded to look for them.
How do I go about having potions made?
Just take a look there and tell me what you'd like. Find a recipe for something better, I can make that too.
Find Tajin's note. A level up, you don't say. Don't remember how to do that. How to level up. Character? Yes. Ooh, two points to spend. Oh, we're going back into archery. Oh, that gets me to leaping shot, though. I don't really care about the height bonus, but that does get me leaping shot. That gets me explosive shot, which is good for groups of trash. You can use the momentum of your shot to do a stronger draw as you come back to your feet. Your next attack, whenever you make it, will knock down its target. Yeah, leaping shot. It's really good skill. There you go. Now, if I recall, you don't get attribute points to spend. It's based off of your skills you take? Yeah, okay. So, dexterity on unlock, cunning on unlock. Oh, it's only on passives. Increases attack for rogues. What's cunning do? Increases crit chance and range defense. Okay, so I want dexterity and cunning. Oh, willpower increases attack for all classes. I didn't know that. What increases stamina? I guess you can increase your stamina pool. Alright. Also, it switched my armor. I just now noticed. Ooh, this actually might... This might be better than my... my mod! I messed with my inventory mod, because it wasn't working. But now it's working, because now I have 400 slots instead of 60. Praise Jesus. Oh wait, I was looking at the wrong one. Exacting longbow is worse. That does 54 damage, but it doesn't have the 5 fire damage. Okay, yeah. Which means I won't have to constantly go to the stores to sell off all the loot I find. Have to be a Kunari to equip Vitar, which is basically just face paint. Have to be level 6 to put that on. God, I'm so stacked. This DLC armor quickly becomes not good. Basically, the best armor I've ever found in this game is that just you craft armor, and then armor usually has like go into armor. Armor will usually have like, see, these only have sigils, which is basically like a rune slot, because it's special armor. But then if I go to this regular scout coat, sure, it's not as good as, it's nowhere near as good when I'm raiding. It's 15 less armor, but it has an empty arm slot and an empty leg slot, so I can put 2 mods on it and a rune. And the mods are really where you get all your special stuff from, your stat bonuses and everything. So once you find a few schematics and everything, this DLC armor quickly becomes pretty bad compared to what you can make, as long as you get enough crafting resources.
You're certain?
No.
We're not paying you for this fantastic.
Should we get you anything?
What can you tell me about this area?
Adan is Haven's apothecary. He's been making potions and tending to the wounded as best he can. Harris is the Inquisition smith. Whatever he can make you, Thren the quartermaster can probably find. And for anything fancier, you can try buying from Segrit. His prices aren't too high. Yet. Oh, there's also Minave. She studies beasts and things, as I understand.
Farewell.
Goodbye.
And I'm pretty sure the song that bard sings in the bar changes based on you know, what you did in the other games.
Segrit said the blankets weren't worth selling. He's get.
I don't have any requisitions yet.
How kind of him. If you're here to clean, Hess can get you a bucket and a broom. Anyone calls you knife here, come to me. Oh, you're him. Thren. Inquisition quartermaster. I'm doing what I can to supply this mess. If you find what I need to fill one of my requisitions, I'd appreciate you bringing it in.
Everyone always mistakes an elf for a slave.
What do you do here?
I make sure the Inquisition troops have food in their bellies and iron in their hands. Both are important. Lots of people expecting us to be heroes, marching all day to fight the demons. Turns out heroes need to dig latrines just like everyone else.
How does someone end up as quartermaster for the Inquisition?
I served for Eldon under Ten Loghain MacTier, best commanding officer this world has ever seen. After they all turned on him at Denerim, though, there wasn't much use for people who held that opinion. King Alistair offered my services to the Inquisition, probably to get rid of me.
King Loghain MacTier is the guy who betrays King Kaelin at the very beginning of the first game, and he's the reason that King Kaelin and all the Grey Wardens die at Ostagar to the Darkspawn, because when they light a signal flare, he's supposed to flank the Darkspawn during the battle, and he sees the signal flare and chooses not to flank, dooming everybody to die but saving his soldiers. And yeah, he's a traitor.
Loghain MacTier betrayed the Grey Wardens and his king.
Were you there at Ostagar? I was. King Kaelin overextended his position, and the Grey Wardens were too late lighting the signal. Following the original plan would have gotten everyone killed. Ten Loghain made the right decision. I apologize. Sister Liliana told me I shouldn't talk about this. Just forget it.
What did you mean when you mentioned requisitions?
I'm making this Inquisition run with what we have, but we're not a real army. We're stretched thin on materials, so I've put up a requisition list for anything that could help our people. Here, take a look. You find some iron and a good logging site. Maybe Harriet can get our troops better weapons.
It should be said, though, that King Kaelin was young and not arrogant, but over-optimistic. So, you know, there's some truth to what she's saying. That maybe everybody would have died if Loghain followed the plan. So he's not a black and white traitor. You know, there's moral gray area there. I still killed him, though.
If I have material for a special order, do I bring it to you?
Just take it over there. One of my boys will take the materials or jot down what you found.
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
Logging stand. I believe there is one in this
Thanks for
area.
checking
It
anyway.
is over in that area somewhere. There's a logging stand, I believe. Yeah, I think it's over here. Usually it doesn't mark them, but I guess because since it's the first one, it's kind of a... And this is kind of a tutorial area. That's why it's so small. My main objective is back in there. So that means... we don't go that way. We explore. We complete our side missions first. I can't pull my weapon out to run faster when I'm in a guess, civilized area. Varric, my boy.
So, now that Cassandra's out of earshot, are you holding up all right? I mean, you go from being the most wanted criminal in Thedas to joining the armies of the faithful. Most people would have spread that out over more than one day.
Barely keep up, just glad to be alive. Too many people died, I'm fine. That's all bullshit.
I have no idea what's happening anymore.
That makes two of us. For days now, we've been staring at the breach, watching demons and maker knows what fall out of it. Bad for morale would be an understatement. I still can't believe anyone was in there and lived.
If it was that bad, why did you stay? Cassandra said you were free to go.
I like to think I'm as selfish and irresponsible as the next guy, but this... Thousands of people died on that mountain. I was almost one of them. And now there's a hole in the sky. Even I can't walk away and just leave that to sort itself out.
The breach needs to be sealed. The sooner the better.
If it can be sealed, you might want to consider running at the first opportunity. I've written enough tragedies to recognize where this is going. Heroes are everywhere. I've seen that. But the hole in the sky, that's beyond heroes. We're going to need a miracle.
He's talking about Hawk.
Need something?
We'll save Hawk for last.
The red lyrium we found at the temple seemed to upset you.
My brother Bartrand and I sort of discovered red lyrium during an expedition in the Deep Roads. We located an ancient thaig, so old it barely looked dwarven. There was this idol there made of it. Bartrand brought it back to the surface, and, well, everything's gone downhill from there.
So what is it? Just another kind of lyrium?
The red stuff is lyrium like a dragon is a lizard. It's not just a different color. It has a whole host of weirdness all its own. I've written to every mining cast house in Orzammar. No one's seen this stuff before or knows where it came from.
What makes it special?
Regular lyrium can mess you up pretty badly, but you have to ingest it for that to happen. Red lyrium messes with your mind when you're just near the stuff. You hear singing, get violent, paranoid, and then it does creepy shit. Makes things float, brings statues to life. It also turned Kirkwall's Knight Commander to lyrium. Everyone's been kept at least 100 paces from it since.
How did the red lyrium get in the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I don't know. So as far as I knew, the only piece to make it to the surface was destroyed. And the location of the thaig it came from is a secret. Did someone find more of it in the Deep Roads? That's not a cheery thought.
I think that's enough on red lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject. Need something?
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
You from Ferelden? Orlais?
Free marches, born and raised in Kirkwall. And despite whatever you've heard, no, Kirkwall's not that bad.
I'm not clear on your line of work. You're a merchant?
I'm a businessman. My family has a seat in the Dwarven Merchants Guild. Merchants buy and sell goods. Businessmen buy and sell stores. In my spare time, I manage a spy network, and occasionally, I write books.
If you've run a spy network, why is Liliana our spy master?
To be honest with you, she's just a better spy master. The truly great ones can keep their distance. They don't get attached to their people. Me, I always wind up babysitting my informants and worrying about their families. We're in better hands with her.
You're an author? What kind of books have you written?
I've tried my hands at a few genres. My crime serials are my most popular. Hard in Hightown, guards breaking the rules to get things done. The Tale of the Champion is the most famous thing I've written, or infamous maybe. I started a romance serial once, Swords and Shields, but to be honest, I don't have a knack for romances. Most of my stories end in tragedy. Probably that says something unfortunate about me personally.
His romance series has one fan. You'll find out who it is later.
What sort of shops do you own?
Actually, we don't own shops. That was just an example. Mostly we invest in money lenders. Auction houses, a few mercenary companies, a couple of smithies. I think we own half a beet plantation in Ravane somewhere. Most of that's my brother's doing. Bartrand had business sense. Not much tact, but loads of business sense.
Where did you get that crossbow? I've never seen one like it.
Bianca? She's one of a kind. I got her off a guy in Darktown. Took me a week to pry his dead fingers off the stock.
Who is she named for?
I can't tell you.
And the reason for that is?
Complicated. It's the one story I'll never tell. We just have to leave it at that.
And he doesn't.
Thanks, Varric.
No problem. Need something?
Now we get to talk about Hawk.
I've read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
In the book you say that first enchanter Orsino turned himself into a giant monster made of corpses? How? Why?
Do I look like an expert on magical weirdness to you? Well, I can't tell you how. For the why, all I can say is he was desperate.
There is no way Hawk really could have killed the Arishok. It would have started a war with the Qunari.
I was told later that the Qunari disavowed his actions. Apparently, the Arishok didn't get permission before he attacked Kirkwall, and the Qun didn't want another exalted march. When they finally sent a ship to haul the Red Dreadnought away, they just said, "We will never speak of this again." As far as I can tell, that's the Qun's version of an apology.
Where are the rest of Hawk's associates now?
Meryl decided to look after the elves left homeless by the fighting. She's done a pretty good job of keeping them away from the mages and Templars, so far. I guess she has plenty of practice avoiding stupid human battles with her old Dalish clan. Fenris has kept himself busy, hunting down the Tevinter slavers who came south to prey on the refugees. I'm not sure exactly where he is at the moment. You can usually follow the trail of corpses, though. Isabella went back to the Raiders. She's calling herself an admiral now. I don't know if she's actually in charge or just has a really big hat. Might be the same thing, honestly. Sebastian went back to Starkhaven. I'm sure he's boring all sorts of people there. Hawk's little sister is in the Free Marches, helping some of the other survivors from the Kirkwall Circle. Aveline is still guard captain. I'm pretty sure Kirkwall would fall into the sea if she quit her job.
Hey. A lot of characters that you have no idea who they are. But I do.
We'll need some of your cloth.
They're just all the companions that were in your party in Dragon Age 2. Shit, what did I just sell? Oh, did I sell junk? Is that what I did? I sold junk. Okay. That's okay. Recipes. Yes. We buy recipes. We always buy recipes. Nothing particularly good. This is all basic stuff. I do need to keep... I keep forgetting I do have to equip party members in this game. So I should...
And how much is Mother Giselle?
Keep all this stuff until I've done that.
I don't see why we need to build siege equipment. We're not laying siege to anything.
That's an excellent point, Recruit. But if someone comes to lay siege to us, perhaps it will be best for us to have some means to fight back.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
XP. Comics unlocked. Construction orders. Yeah, I think I can get... I think once the war table is introduced, I can requisition
Who are we fighting anyway,
them
sir?
to open up that tunnel.
I've heard it was mages.
I can make that. Guess not. Guess I can't make that. I speed up for like half a second when I land.
Make a watch over here.
Here, tell Mother Giselle. Good day. Or good as it could be with the sky ripped apart.
What kind of person stays to run a shop at a time like this?
The kind with nowhere else to go. Those blasted demons destroyed most of my goods. If I stay here, work some contacts, I can start rebuilding. Maybe, just maybe, help you folks out in the process.
You must speak with most everyone here. How are people doing?
Hope and fear in equal measure. No one really knows what it means when an Inquisition is called. Yet. I imagine it's no better for you. You've got my sympathies, for what it's worth.
Until later.
Stay safe.
I think he's from one of the other games,
Still
but I
got
can't
demons
remember.
pouring out of the rifts.
So I recognize the name Segret. Do I have a quest marker in here? Oh. DLC stuff? I don't think that actually gave me anything. No, it didn't. Well, it got it off my mini-map.
For she who trusts in the Maker. You're worried about the rift.
Haha, now I can pull out my bow. And move twice as fast.
If the Inquisition wants to field a decent cavalry, it needs better horses. I heard Seeker Pentagast might try to acquire suitable mounts from Master Dennett in the hinterlands.
Were you fishing around for what the higher-ups are doing?
Back in Angsburg, my uncle was fit.
Expected you'd be by. I'm Harriet, and everyone knows who you are. How's the new gear fit?
Sturdy and warm. It's perfect.
Good. World's gone mad. Stock armor and blades are good against bandits, but we're not fighting bandits. My gear will see you through demons, apostates, whatever this world throws at you. So, you need custom work, something special. You bring the materials to us, we'll make it happen.
What can you and your team make here?
Arms and armor. We work iron to blighted dragonbone if you've got it. Our designs are simple, but they get the job done. You want something fancy, bring your own design. We'll see what we can do.
How did you come to be here?
Come from a little town called Lothering. Long gone now. I was in Redcliffe when the Darkspawn hit it during the Blight. Helped rebuild. Left when royalty decided it was time to hand the place over to the bloody mages. Ended up here. Just missed the boom. Can't decide if I'm the luckiest son of a bitch walking or the exact opposite.
You're still walking. That's always good.
True enough.
Who outfits the Inquisition's soldiers?
Not me. I've got work to do. Can't be passing a sword to every blighter who signs up. If you want to help the troops, talk to Thren, the quartermaster. She'll set up requisitions.
Does the Inquisition not have supplies to make armor or weapons?
Tough convincing traders to haul up here. Impossible to get them to risk the rare stuff, so that's on you.
Can you help improve my arms and armor?
Yes. If you find a new piece, a pauldron or greaves, we'll take care of you. You can't just slap a new hilt on your sword in the field. Bring it here, we'll make sure it's done right and proper.
If I want something, what can you make?
Start simple. Something to keep you safe. Take a look at it on the table there and we can talk. You'll need materials. We should have what you want just outside.
Goodbye.
Right.
Alright. So. Yeah, I know. I've played this game before, thanks. Let's see. Yes, we have Scout Coat, which is the only thing that we can actually mess with right now. So, the only piece, we only have an armor piece arms piece right now. So see, look, there it is. Look at my arms. Look at that. Boosh. Look, they look different now. Isn't that something? And it gave me +3 range defense. That's a crappy add-on, so it don't do a lot, but you know, eventually it can be pretty good. And it also changes what it looks like, which is always appreciated. That's
you need
modifying.
something? Let me know.
Modifying weapons, crafting armor. Yeah, this is what I want. So, we're gonna go to medium armor. I've never understood Avar armor. It just looks like you're like caked in mud. Might as well save crafting for later until I have actually good resources. Craft weapons. Yonka aiming, Raider hatchet. Yeah, I don't have anything for bows. Don't have runes yet.
You need something? Let me know. Another time, then.
Petitions respec. Yep. I think that's all this does. This is a DLC thing that, or it sells respec amulets. Oh, there was a schematic in there for a bow.
Another time, then.
46 DPS now.
You need something? Let me know.
Nothing in here. I guess I do need to.
Most of them should be full of traps.
I guess I do need to slap that piece on there to complete that quest. Spec piece. What now? Existing armor. Have some armor mid. Okay. Yeah, and you can. So you've got these slots here. This is an armor slot and then a defense slot, which adds some defensive traits. Like it might be, you know, fire resistance and stuff like that. But this main slot here, I think you can have up to 3 slots coming off of this. But this one right here that I'm on, that's glowing, is the main slot. This is actually decides the armor rating, and you've got, you know, tier 3 materials, tier 2 materials, you know, and then you've also got tier 3 exotic materials and stuff like that. So right now I only have tier 1 materials, but down there you can see it says tier 1 common leather, primary slot is low armor rating. If I use it in a utility slot, I get it gives me 1 dexterity. So right now I'm in my primary slot, the armor slot. So it will give me, all of these will, basically this is just deciding what color do I want the armor to be, because they're all low armor rating. So they're all the same. It's just what color do I want it to be. So see, for instance, if I use Nug Skin, low armor rating because I'm in the armor slot. That's 67 armor. But if I go down here and I use Nug Skin, it gives me 4 range defense because I'm using it in a defense slot. And sometimes I don't think it does anything on this, but sometimes it also does change like the armbands or something might change color or whatever. So right now it's like, what color do I want my armor to be? Well, I'm a rogue, so let's just do ram leather. And then let's just do range yeah, let's just do range defense because I'm an archer, so I'm mostly going to be getting hit with ranged if I'm playing correctly. So there's that. That's that other half of that quest. I don't think I have any slots on that. Yeah, that crafted armor, I don't have any slots on. So see, that's how good crafting stuff is. Is that this is the armor it gave me, which has a 52 armor rating. This is the DLC armor, which is a 67 armor rating. The crafted armor that I just made already has a 67 armor rating, and it's 1 item level lower. Like, crafting stuff is usually the best stuff you can make, or you can get your hands on. So if I've read that right, I can probably take that piece. Probably take the arms off of this and put them on this. Yep. So let's see. Yeah, I have a 4 range defense rating, and now I have a 7% because of the gloves that I'm adding on there.
That'll do.
Just other stuff just doesn't come close to touching crafted stuff. I think like a few items that you get from like killing special bosses and stuff might equal out, but still, it's only equaling out. Kill those nugs so I can get the crafting off of them. I spawned it at my feet. Can't get it. So I could run around and grab crafting, a bunch of crafting resources and all that, but that's not particularly exciting. So I'll do that on my own time. I'll just grab what's on the way. Respect mountains. I've actually never gone all the way up here. This is actually an entirely different area too. Oh, this is the tutorial area, isn't it? free loot? I don't think I can open this door. If I try to go this way, it'll bounce me back. Yep. Oh, down here now. Ram leather. I remember always running out of ram leather, so I will kill a ram every time I see it. If I remember, the logging stand is this way. I'm not gonna be able to make that jump. Oh. I think later on there's an Inquisition perk that makes it where you jump higher, so that you can actually make jumps like that and everything.
See reason to say.
Yes?
We cannot stay here.
I'd like your take on the Templar Order.
It's a shadow of what it was. Where once we both protected all people from the dangers of magic, we now posture and grab at power. One day, I hope the circles are again sanctuaries where mages can practice their craft.
You're not going to rejoin the Order?
When the temple went up, your forces rescued those few of us still alive. My life is a debt I intend to repay, however I can.
Do you have any idea what caused the explosion?
No, I'm just a recruit. Belief and faith doesn't get you closer to the important meetings. Though that distance did save my life.
I will talk to you later.
Walk in the Maker's grace.
Let's see. He's not here yet. If I remember correctly, I think Cullen hangs out down here eventually. He's in both of the other games, but as a minor character. But in this game, he's a major character because he is I guess the commander of the army. Yes, I know.
There must be something here.
Yeah. You'll get voice quips like that, and you'll get, and your mini-map will pulse when important stuff is nearby, and then every time you hit search, it shows you at the bottom at your feet, like, which direction the important item is. I believe that's Master Tyjar's notes in there that I need for that, alchemist guy. This is a really good place for iron, because a bunch of nodes always spawn here, so I always grab these. But you have to get right on it and then search, and then you can actually interact with the important item. There you go. Yep. Those are the guy's notes that I have to give to Adon. And I believe, if you continue this way, there's a logging stand out there in the forest with a couple of rams around it that I will attempt to kill. Can't hit you. Something move. You. And here is the logging stand. Alright. Alright, now I can do that requisition. I don't think there's anything else out here. Can't kill those yet. Those are very strong. I think those are called Druffalo. To speak to her and fill the requisition, and then I need to speak to Adon, and that's all the side missions.
Nice work with those supplies. The Smiths can use them to fit our troops with better gear. Might not affect you much, but our recruits will have better chances next time some monster flies out of a rift.
Farewell.
Make a go with you.
That gives me +1 power, which is the currency you have to use on the war table to tell the Inquisition to do operations. Which is like an operation might open up a quarry, which gives your Inquisition access to special crafting supplies or something like that. Or let you pay money to send out expeditions to bring back a bunch of iron from quarries, or clear a avalanche so that you can get to a new area, stuff like that. Apothecary, wilderness. Oh yeah, that's right. Not only does he make potions, but you can upgrade them. I forgot you could do that. Healing potion. You need Dawn root. You need Dawn Lotus and a bunch of elf root, which I have. Regeneration potion. I need more elf root. I don't know any tonics, and I don't know any grenades. Only know regen potion and healing potion. So regen potion. So every time I drink a regen potion, I'm basically using 1 elf root, which is also
another time.
the currency I need to upgrade my healing potions.
You're back, and in one piece.
You said you thought Master Tajan was working on something special. If it helps, I found his notes.
The old codger was on the edge of a breakthrough here, but he couldn't see it. You want some of these mixed up? You just give the word.
Farewell.
So that gives me Lyrium potion. which in this game just increases maximum mana for mages instead of regenerating mana, like the other games. Still no tonics, still no grenades. Okay, it only gave me lyrium potion, which I need elf root as well for.
Perhaps another time.
All things in this world are finite. What one man gains, another has lost.
Ooh, cutscene. I don't remember this cutscene.
Does it trouble you?
I just wish I knew what it was, or how I got it.
We will find out. What's important is that your mark is now stable, as is the breach. You've given us time, and Solas believes a second attempt might succeed, provided the mark has more power. The same level of power used to open the breach in the first place. That is not easy to come by.
Couldn't that kind of power just make things worse?
And people call me a pessimist. May I present Commander Cullen, leader of the Inquisition's forces.
Ex-Templar.
Such as they are. We lost many soldiers in the valley, and I fear many more before this is through.
This is Lady Josephine Montellier, our ambassador and chief diplomat.
Anderan Atishan.
You speak Elven.
You've just heard the entirety of it, I'm afraid.
And of course, you know Sister Liliana.
My position here involves a degree of...
She is our spy master.
Yes, tactfully put, Cassandra.
That's an impressive bunch of titles.
I mentioned that your mark needs more power to close the breach for good.
Which means we must approach the rebel mages for help.
And I still disagree. The Templars could serve just as well.
We need power, Commander. Enough magic poured into that mark.
Might destroy us all. Templars could suppress the breach, weaken it, so...
Pure speculation.
I was a Templar. I know what they're capable of.
Unfortunately, neither group will even speak to us yet. The Chantry has denounced the Inquisition, and you specifically.
That didn't take long.
Shouldn't they be busy arguing over who's going to become divine?
Some are calling you, a Dalish elf, the Herald of Andraste. That frightens the Chantry. The remaining clerics have declared it blasphemy, and we, heretics, for harboring you.
Chancellor Roderick's doing, no doubt.
It limits our options. Approaching the mages or Templars for help is currently out of the question.
Just how am I the Herald of Andraste?
People saw what you did at the temple, how you stopped the breach from growing.
Fanaticism.
They have also heard about the woman seen in the rift when we first found you. They believe that was Andraste.
Even if we tried to stop that view from spreading...
Which we have not.
The point is, everyone is talking about you.
It's quite the title, isn't it? How do you feel about that?
I'm no herald of anything, particularly not Andraste.
I'm sure the Chantry would agree.
People are desperate for a sign of hope. For some, you're that sign.
And to others, a symbol of everything that's gone wrong.
They aren't more concerned about the breach, the real threat?
They do know it's a threat. They just don't think we can stop it.
The Chantry is telling everyone you'll make it worse.
There is something you can do. A Chantry cleric by the name of Mother Giselle has asked to speak to you. She is not far and knows those involved far better than I. Her assistance could be invaluable.
Why would someone from the Chantry help a declared heretic?
I understand she's a reasonable sort. Perhaps she does not agree with her sisters. You will find Mother Giselle tending to the wounded in the hinterlands near Redcliffe.
Look for other opportunities to expand the Inquisition's influence while you're there.
We need agents to extend our reach beyond this valley, and you're better suited than anyone to recruit them.
In the meantime, let's think of other options. I won't leave this all to the Herald.
War table. Apply the power of Inquisition throughout Orlais and Ferelden. Mother Giselle is in the hinterlands, which can be found on the Ferelden side of the table. Over here. You can unlock new arrows for you to explore through scouting operations. Yep. See, I can't do anything over here. This is later in the game. Right now, we are stuck in Ferelden.
Chancellor Roderick came to speak with me. Could you try not to antagonize him?
If I offend the man so easily, perhaps he should try leaving me alone.
When you attempt to do operations on the war table, like this one is unlocking a new area. It's a scouting mission, which unlocks a new area for me to travel to. You can pick basically this right here. Connections is Josephine, who is your diplomat. This middle one is Liliana, who is your spy master. And this right one is Colin. And this is basically, like using the power, the might of your army. This is using spies and deceit and deception, using stealth and subtlety to perform your objective. And this one is using diplomacy and diplomatic connections and stuff like that. The only one you can use here is, since it's a scouting mission, the only person you can use here is Liliana's scouts. And then you get a little report after you do it, and there are, later in the game, you do have all three options, and some options are more successful than the other. So like you read through the little bio that it gives you before you do an operation, and then you make a decision based on what you think will be more successful. And some are more successful than others. You might get like 3 times the reward if you pick the right one. You might get, you know, the normal reward if you pick the decent one, and then you might get half the reward if you pick the wrong one. Now, yes, and there are also, now I have a mod that should make all war table operations instant, because I do not feel like waiting for them to finish like you're supposed to do. Normally, some missions that aren't important missions, they're just like, go gather this material or something. We'll have a preferred type, which is like, if you use Liliana, she'll get it done in half the time. Hopefully I don't need to worry about that. That one just unlocked the Black Emporium, which is a DLC area. It's just a DLC shop, basically. It's in every single game. Contact clan. Oh, there we go. Requires time 0. Oh, the mod is working. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. So see here, if I remember correctly, the wrong choice for this one is to send... the wrong choice is to use Colin. So, Clan Llewellyn. That's the Dalish clan that I'm from. Clan Llewellyn offers greeting to the Inquisition and wishes it well in sealing the breach that has opened in the sky. While some Dalish clans hate humans and wish nothing to do with them, Clan Llewellyn has always dealt fairly with all, and wished only for peace. That said, we have on occasion been forced to defend ourselves from those who saw us only as potential victims. That's a hint. It has come to our attention that a member of our clan is being held captive by your Inquisition. So this is a note from the keeper of my clan, which is basically the chief. They say, it has come to our attention that a member of our clan is being held captive by your Inquisition. He went to the Conclave only to observe the peace talks between your mages and Templars, and we find it highly unlikely that he intentionally violated your customs. If he has been charged with a crime, we would appreciate hearing of it. If not, it would ease our concerns to hear from him, to know that he remains with the Inquisition of his own will. So they don't know what has happened to me. They want to know. That's a hint. This right here is a hint. We have on occasion been forced to defend ourselves from those who saw us only as potential victims. So this whole thing is a letter from my clan. So this is saying the Dalish have on occasion been forced to defend themselves. So they're wary of humans. Even though they're a peaceful clan, they're wary of humans. Now Colin's thing says, my troops can deliver news of your safety and make it clear that the Inquisition should be taken seriously. That's kind of threatening. If you send Colin, there will be casualties on both sides, because the Dalish think that troops are marching on them, because Colin sends armed troops to deliver the letter. So Liliana, the Dalish respect deeds, not words. Let my elven agents deliver something the clan needs as a show of good faith. And then Josephine says, your people must be approached carefully. One of our elven scribes could deliver a message and share news of the Inquisition's fair treatment. Probably should send an elf to the elven people, alone, so that the Dalish clan doesn't feel threatened.
Let us begin.
It does my heart well to hear that you are safe. Our clan was visited by members of the Inquisition who spoke persuasively of the good work you are doing, as well as the fairness with which our kind have been treated by the Inquisition itself. You know that Clan Llewellyn has little way of gold, but I give the messengers some of our healing herbs, as Silas blessed us with abundance in our recent foraging. We would be a distraction if we came to the Inquisition itself, our hunters arguing with the humans as they so easily do. Nevertheless, if you need aid, send word and we are with you. That's the good outcome. And I got 10 Blood Lotus because I did the good outcome. That's what I'm talking about, where you have choices you can make, and they do actually matter. So, here's... Your Inquisition says it's for the order against chaos. Reason and darkness. If you stand by this, come forth and drive the heretics from my land. They claim to be refugees, but I've seen elves and apostates among them. Filthy savages tearing at our roots. Our monarch refuses to send forth armies, and my own knights were decimated at the Conclave. I require your aid to return peace to my lands. Prove your loyalty, and I will see you richly rewarded for your faith. We can take advantage of his raving. My spies can harass the refugees into moving somewhere else to win Lord Kildarn's favor. We can send a few patrols, but I prefer they help the refugees, not this Lord Kildarn. Ah yes, Lord Kildarn, a pariah even among his peers. Let us send a polite refusal and nothing more. Now, in my opinion, Kildarn's not a good guy. So, we shouldn't do Colin, which is giving Kildarn what he wants. What we should do, in my opinion, because if we do this, if we do Josephine, which is just to flat out refuse him, we get nothing from it. So, let's play a little dirty. Use Liliana's spies to harass the refugees into leaving, because if they stay there, Kildarn will probably end up somehow getting them off his land, and it will probably be violent. So let's use Liliana to get them off his land without, you know, actually hurting them, and without it maybe reflecting on the Inquisition. And Kildarn will maybe appreciate it and help us.
Let's see what we have.
Our rejoiced to see the colors of the Inquisition run the rabble out of my ancestral fields, and straight into the woods of my neighbor band trapped no less, as if he were guided by the hands of the Maker himself. Could not be better pleased as promised, a reward for your excellent help in my time of lamentation. So he gave us a bit of gold for it. And he might help us out later. The Tyranneer of Highever wishes to convey our deepest sympathies on the death of Divine Justinia V. The Most Holy was incomparable in her wisdom and dedication to peace, and we had high hopes that our conclave would succeed. We will hold a vigil in Highever in remembrance of Justinia and cordially invite the Inquisition. I know Tyrann Kuzland, and I know Justinia. Oh, Tyrann Fergus Kuzland. So this doesn't matter with my world state, because my hero of Ferelden, the character from the first game, from Origins, was a Dalish elf. But Kuzland, if you play a human, Kuzland is the royal family that your human character is from. And Kuzland are good people. They're noble. They're noble nobles. They're morally good nobles who actually care about people. We can send an honor guard to Highever. We probably don't want to send a military thing, a military regiment to a vigil.
At your service.
The Inquisition emissaries were a welcome addition to our vigil. As a token of my thanks, I am sending Ferelden arms for your troops. May the Maker grant you never need them. And that was a pretty obvious choice. It's just a social thing, a social remembrance event. So use the diplomatic approach and just go along with it. It's just posturing. Hard in Hightown 3, Varric's Revenge. Ruffles. I think Ruffles is what Varric calls Liliana. I think. He has a nickname for everybody. He never calls anybody by name. Except maybe Cassandra, because he's afraid of Cassandra. Ruffles, I need a favor. Actually, let's call it a loan, since I'll pay it back. I got a letter from my editor in Kirkwall. She tells me that Hardened Hightown 3, the repuncheoning, appeared in print from an Antivan printer a couple weeks ago. I'll give you a moment to contemplate the horror that is that title. I had my contacts in the Merchants Guild look for the author a couple years back. The best they could find out after spending a couple hundred gold was that Purell Bellenforth is a pen name. I could have told them that for free. You've got contacts with the Antivan print houses. Maybe you could find out more than the guild. Maybe Liliana isn't Ruffles. Who's Ruffles? So, if this author has evaded the Merchants Guild, the Crows might be a better choice for investigating him. The Crows are an assassin guild. I could ask a friend in Antiva City to look into this matter, I suppose. I think Liliana's probably the right choice.
Let's see what we have.
Yeah, she did it. She was the right choice. Your author friend is truly a mystery. Our search uncovered only a string of foreign accounts. The trail of coin led from Antiva to Teventer to the Free Marches and Orlais. Someone hid their tracks well, but not well enough. Your writer is in Kirkwall, and remember, you owe me a favor. So she was the right choice for that. And I got an Amulet of Power, which is a really good item. It gives you skill points, I think. Up until now, Inquisition forces have had the benefit of the Chantry's deep coffers. Now the Inquisition is forced to seek out its own sources of revenue if it is going to grow further. Trade in and out of Haven is limited at this point, but there are various opportunities to earn coin, provided the Inquisition is willing to focus its efforts on the matter. It could earn us a great deal if we're careful. So this is trading favors with merchants and nobility. This is collecting secrets and selling them without them being traceable to the Inquisition. And this is soldiers. This is soldiers doing mercenary work.
All right.
is repeatable. So I got 99 doing cold.
Let's see what we have.
Got 115 doing Liliana. So I did Liliana twice and it was different both times.
Let us begin.
So I think, yeah, it doesn't matter. Since this is a repeatable mission just to get coin, which I guess I can kind of cheat because I have the no time, so I can just keep repeating it. It doesn't really matter who you use on that. You just get a random amount of gold every time you do it. And that's all the operations I can do. So now... we go to the hinterlands. I only have Varric, Cassandra, and Solus, so... that's who we'll take with us.
Herald of Andraste. I've heard the stories. Everyone has. We know what you did at the breach. It's odd for a Dalish elf to care what happens to anyone else, but you'll get no backtalk here. That's a promise. Inquisition Scout Harding, at your service. Well, all of us here, will do whatever we can to help.
Harding, huh? Ever been to Kirkwall's Hightown?
I can't say I have. Why?
You'd be Harding and... No, never mind.
Ugh.
I love Varric so much.
I'm starting to worry about these stories that everyone's heard.
Oh, there's nothing to worry about. They only say you're the last great hope for Thedas.
Oh, wonderful.
The hinterlands are as good a place as any to start fixing things. We came to secure horses from Redcliffe's old horsemaster. I grew up here, and people always said that Dennett's herds were the strongest and the fastest this side of the Frostbacks. But with the Mage Templar fighting getting worse, we couldn't get to Dennett. Maker only knows if he's even still alive. Mother Giselle's at the crossroads helping refugees and the wounded. Our latest reports say that the war's spread there too. Corporal Vale and our men are doing what they can to help protect the people, but they won't be able to hold out very long. You best get going. No time to lose.
Alright. And with that, this is the true start of the game, where this is our first wide open area where we can roam to our heart's content. And that is where I'll be stopping for this second part.